Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Tom Marshall Media podcast. Today we are going to look at M. Night Shyamalan's latest offering, Trap. Let's get into it. Alright, so the film is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, whose films that you may recognise, films such as The Sixth Sense, Signs, Unbreakable, The Village, Lady in the Water, Split, and now Trap. Okay, so really good body of work that he's done over the years. It stars Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donahue, Salika Shyamalan, and Alison Pill. Good cast, chose some really good people. So yeah, good job there. And the budget of the film is around $30 million. Some, if not all of which, M. Night Shyamalan funded himself using his own money, self-financing the film. So putting a lot of risk, putting all his eggs into one basket. Definitely did well on this one. Because the box office he's earned to date from the film is $82 million. So it's not done too badly. So yeah. The film is about a father and his young teenage daughter on a father and daughter outing to a pop concert by a singer called Lady Raven. That happens to be M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, Salika Shyamalan's character, only to find out that there is a deeper, darker secret to apprehend a serial killer who calls himself the Butcher. There's no secret, the Butcher is Josh Hartnett's character. The details of his appearance have yet to be known to the public. All they know is the psychology of the killer and basically going off that. Cooper is fully aware, more or less, of what's going on and is hiding in plain sight. They basically set up this concert as a way to draw him out and arrest him. The film opens up with the father and daughter arriving at the concert late, and they arrive backstage eagerly to wait for Lady Raven to come out of her trailer to get a first glimpse of what she looks like. And then when she exits, she basically is greeted with rapturous applause. While they make their way into the venue and explore and take in the atmosphere of the day and the vibe that's going on around them, Cooper all the while is basically watching his surroundings and keeping an eye and observing everything around him and noticing an increased insecurity around the venue. Armed police, FBI, local police, law enforcement, everyone is taking part in this sting operation. Tension builds as Cooper and Riley, that is Ariel Donahue's character, take their seats in the venue. They're on the ground floor, and Cooper basically notices that the police is rounding up anyone sort of around the age of 35 and 45, as that's the sort of rough idea of the age of the serial killer that they have in their minds. And he could see that the police are actually getting closer and closer to their seats, and the walls around him are sort of closing in. They're basically taking and apprehending people for questioning and releasing them once they realise they basically haven't got the right guy. This is where you discover basically something isn't quite right with Cooper. He heads to the toilet with his phone and basically goes to pretend to check his messages, but actually he's checking on his latest victim that he has stashed away in an undisclosed location in like a basement somewhere, and he's got like a video feed directly on his phone to his latest victim in this basement. Throughout the film, he basically leaves his daughter to investigate and observe the security measures that are going on, and constantly basically looking for weaknesses around and potentially exploit and take advantage of that and try and escape and evade this trap that they have set for him. Um, he finds out that the operation is being headed by a criminal psychologist who knows his inner workings of the mind of the butcher, but is yet to find out his identity, which is why they're sort of doing this sort of uh, random searches of these people in this particular age group. They have a vague few descriptions of the guy from some unreliable sources and witnesses that they disclose on the radio, um, but none of them are quite right. Uh, a few things were correct, but as a whole description, none of them were correct. Um, and Cooper is hiding in plain sight, like I said, and uses his initiative to evade, capture, and outsmart the FBI psychologist. So, really good premise. I believe they used some real life cases of this type where the police back in the day would actually use this type of tactic to draw out these suspects and apprehend them. So I think it's based on some uh, previous cases that happened in the past. So I think that's where they got the idea from. So really good story. The first thing I noticed from the start was the choice in tone, as well as the tone of voice Josh Hartnett uses for the character of Cooper. Um, at first, his voice is a couple of octaves up from his normal voice, which adds a creepy sort of touch to it, and it's a little bit disconcerting when you first hear the voice. It's really up here, like this. Wow, everything's like a surprise to him. At first, he plays this cheesy, out of touch dad who has no idea about the youth of today, almost as if he's playing that role. He's putting it on almost and hiding his true self being the butcher, hiding something from his daughter who has no clue. She just thinks like it's her happy-go-lucky, cheesy dad that she's hanging out with. Which, as time goes on, as the walls begin to close in on him, his voice really switches and changes to a much lower octave, which I thought was a really clever turn and story device and choice of acting that Josh Hartnett chooses, and really sort of differentiates between the two characters that he's initially playing, the cheesy dad and the serial killer. That was really well done. Also, what Knight really does really well is place the camera up close and personal and quite low down as well, while also giving you a sense of claustrophobia and the sense of being confined. Yeah, it's literally up here, the camera, at times, and you really see his emotions coming through, which is really really clever. And quite a scary prospect for an actor to try and get right, because it can easily go horribly wrong. Josh Hartnett is an absolute pro. He does such a good job at conveying his emotions in this film, um, going from angry, sinister, happy, excited. He's a really good actor and portrays this role very well. All in all, this is a great film with some really good performances from Josh Hartnett. I think this is one of his best roles to date. Um, I would like to have seen a signature M. Night Shyamalan surprise ending, but that's just me. That's just what we've come accustomed to. Um, Perhaps maybe adding some familiar faces from films that he's done in the past. just randomly prop up, maybe like in the background or something. That would have been quite cool. But to be honest, it works really, really well as a standalone film, as not part of a franchise or anything like that. It's totally enjoyable, a really, really good watch. Really a great effort by everybody who was involved in the project, and yeah, and I believe his daughter did all the music for the film, which is really, really good. Sort of tied in with all the emotions that are going on throughout the film. So she had to write the music for the character. I think she ended up writing a whole album, which is wild. So yeah, so great job, really, really good. Definitely worth your time. You should definitely check this out on digital, and worth your while to watch this film and support these types of smaller films as well. So yeah, so something a little bit different. Definitely recommend it. Give this film a solid 8 out of 10. As always, let me know what you think if you've seen it. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, if you could like and subscribe to this channel, and I shall see you in the next video.